I don't know what you are thinking or what you are saying about Obi Iyebu, popularly known as Obi Cubana. But one thing that you cannot take away from Obi Cubana any day, anytime, in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, is his benevolency. Obi Cubana is one person that I know that likes to lift others from poverty. He is very kind. He is someone that likes to help others no matter what. You heard the interview he granted after the burial of his mom, when he told everybody about the number of people he lifted from poverty. And you all saw it during the burial. They are the ones that contributed immensely for the burial, not even him. You saw the number of cows that was used during that burial. Obi Cubana never bought any of them. You saw the money that was sprayed during that burial. It was from those that he helped in the past. Cubana chief priest, the almighty Cubana chief priest, the celebrity barman, is one of the products of Obi Cubana, and today he is doing well. Mind you, Obi Cubana have not stopped doing good, and he has not relented at all. That is why we are here. Now let us go straight to the point. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, my great listeners, depending from where you are this moment. Few days ago, a young hawker was caught on camera in Aja area of Lagos State, giving money to persons who were being transported to prison in a Nigerian correctional service van. The young hawker who was selling bottled water was caught distributing some cash to the occupants of a Nigerian correctional service bus in Lagos traffic. With his crate of water on his head, he passed cash to at least 3 occupants of the bus. Wow! He never knew that that was the turning point of his life. Later, this benevolent bottled water hawker was being interviewed by the Punch newspapers to know what prompted him, what puzzled him to give out his hard-earned money. Now hear what he have to say on why he gave those money to those people in the bus. Let us hear from him.
I saw prisoners where prison warders were carrying them. When they stopped at the traffic, I really felt for them. When I started giving them money, I gave 100 naira to the first person. Then many of them began to ask for help. I started sharing them until I get rid of the 100 naira note that I was having within me. I have suffered. If I see people suffering, I always feel for them, even when I cannot take good care of myself. I came to Lagos on 12th December 2021, and that was my first time in Lagos. I've not been to Lagos before. Why I came to Lagos so frustrated, simple because I got admission in Ebonyi State University. And I was able to do everything, remaining school fees, I could not afford it, so I have to drop out. When I came to Lagos, I entered the street. I started selling bottled water. But yesterday, when we were along Agile Expressway by VGC, I saw prisoners where prison warders were carrying them. When they stopped at the traffic, I really felt for them. I told myself, I dropped out from school, that is true, and I'm suffering, but at least I have freedom. I can eat whatever I want to eat when I want to eat it. I can go to wherever I want to go. I can sleep and wake up whenever I wish to. But imagine prisoners, they don't have access to everything. They don't make choice of their own. So I considered myself being better than them. That is why I helped them. When I started giving them money, I gave 100 naira to the first person. Because the first person said, brother, excuse, help us. Then I dashed that 100 naira to him. Then many of them began to ask for help. I started sharing them until I get rid of the 100 naira note that I was having within me. That's just it. I don't have anything in mind while sharing them, in exception that I just feel for them. I considered myself being better than them, so I wish to help them. I don't just give to them because I've been to prison, never.
After that interview with the Punch newspapers, Locke found Ekuma Jeremiah, the young hawker who was caught on camera in the Aja area of Lagos earlier in the week, giving money to persons who were being transported to prison in a Nigerian correctional service van, when billionaire entrepreneur, businessman and popular socialite Obi Iyebu, popularly known as Obi Cubana, who shares the Cubana group. On Saturday, in an interview with a broadcaster and radio talk show host, Ifedayo Olalinde, popularly known as Daddy Freeze, made known his intention to sponsor the young boys' tertiary education in any institution of his choice. Speaking during the short Instagram live interview, Obi Cubana said, "Love should be shown in our actions and not just in our words. I want to meet the young boy who, despite being a hawker, gave 100 naira notes to people in a prison van and was not even aware that he was being filmed by a concerned passerby who was driving on the same road. Anyone who knows him should connect the boy with Daddy Freeze or me. I want him to go to school in good condition, and I would see him through the university. And if he wants to do his master's degree abroad, I would also make sure that he is comfortable while going to school because his generosity touched me. Wow! I am in charge. Can you see kindness being displayed by Obi Cubana? Can you see Obi Cubana? Can you see why we talk about the benevolency of Obi Cubana? Now let us bring some video when Obi Cubana said this to Daddy Freeze. Stay tuned.
You understand what? Let me tell you something, Freeze, please. Something happened this week. This is Saturday. Yes, it was still in the week. I was reading a story today, this morning at Punch newspaper, about one interview. I'm sure you saw that story. Did you see one boy at that Aja Road?
That little prisoner, that little boy who was hawking water and counted his profits and shared with the prisoners.
God bless you.
Yeah.
You know the video, I saw the videos 2 days ago, but this morning when I woke up, I saw Punch uploaded an interview. Yeah? And the guy said he came to Lagos December. He entered the street. Okay, me and you know that the profit on each bottle water is not more than 10,000. 10 naira. 10 naira. Okay? Now, we saw the guy. You see, I took my time to look at that video. To see whether it was cooked. Don't listen to me. But this is one of the realest videos I've seen because the guy saw somebody doing something, wound down the glass, the person who made the video.
Yes.
The prisoners being there at that point was accidental. The person who took out his camera was accidental. This guy turned his back. He never knew he was being videoed. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So,
yes.
He was given 100 naira until he exhausted the 100 nairas he had on him, according to what he said. What am I trying to say? Going further to his family, this guy said he came from a family that is poorer than poor. Not poor. He said that their own is not about poverty. It is, they are poorer than poor. You understand what I'm trying to say? So he did not need to be rich to help. At that point, what was it? What he said was humanity. Helping humanity. At this point, I'm standing on this road, under this scorching sun, carrying this weight, selling, I don't even know how many profit. I am way better than these people inside a cage, a moving cage. You see? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And
yes.
when I read the comments, people were asking account number. Okay? But please, you will do me one favor. I think that guy said he dropped out from Ebony University. Yeah? That guy needs to go back to school. Because he spoke very well. He listened to his English. And he wasn't thinking about saving money for himself for the academics. He wasn't thinking about, at that moment, he was carried away by the love for humanity.
Your humanity.
You understand what I'm trying to say? So, going forward, before we end, I will tell you what we have to do for that boy.
What act of do you want to shock Nigeria with? I know that boy already. I don't see that boy future. I don't see that boy cross-leg for office already. That boy where they share pure water. I don't imagine.
No, the boy.
Where he
The boy. You see, we have to do first things first. Like what I want to do is that I want you to track down the boy, and I'm offering him a lifetime.
Into my DM, any link to that boy into my DM now. I'm going to go as far as sending Punch a message. I have them on my speed dial. We will look for.
Get him so that he has to go to school, because I think that is his ambition. He has to go to school. I will see him through the university, and if he wants to do masters abroad, anything, I'll make sure he's comfortable while going to school. Because, like I said earlier, that is the best. That is the best arm. When you see, when you want to go to war.
Go for me, make a dance for Peking. We don't have. He wants to go and do masters. You don't get.
He will do university, anything he wants. It's not a problem. And then, by God's grace, I know I'll still be standing by the time he's done with school. He has a place in any of my organizations at the top level. And if by God's grace he finds a higher calling, you see, there's nothing tied to this. Nothing. I don't expect anything in return. I'm not giving any conditions for this. But if he chooses not to go back to school, we can now hear what he wants to do, and then we see him through that. The most important thing is to know that he has seen in me, he has in me a mentor, he has in me a life guide. Somebody guide him through this rough place called world. Okay? No, the boy. The boy. You see, we have to do first things first. Like what I want to do is that I want you to track down the boy, and I'm offering him a lifetime.
Into my DM, any link to that boy into my DM now. I'm going to go as far as sending Punch a message. I have them on my speed dial. We will look for.
Get him so that he has to go to school, because I think that is his ambition. He has to go to school. I will see him through the university, and if he wants to do masters abroad, anything, I'll make sure he's comfortable while going to school. Because, like I said earlier, that is the best arm. When you see, when you want to go to war.
Go for me, make a dance for Peking. We don't have. He wants to go and do masters. You don't get.
He will do university, anything he wants. It's not a problem. And then, by God's grace, I know I'll still be standing by the time he's done with school. He has a place in any of my organizations at the top level. And if by God's grace he finds